Amy Coney Barrett is set to take her place on the Supreme Court soon, despite protests by Democrats. Joining us now is West Virginia Democratic Senator Joe Manchin. Senator, thanks so much for your time. I want to just get right into this.
Good to be with you, Lindsay.
Thank you for coming on, Senator. Just want to jump right in and say, you know, in 2018, you were the sole Democrat to support Judge Kavanaugh. Why the change here? And is this an ideological one, or is this specifically about her qualifications?
No, it's more ideological. I mean, really, truly, the timing. We've never done this, Lindsay, in 240 years, have ever had a confirmation vote when there's been a vacancy that has happened between July and Election Day, because it really is too close. And you know, even 1864, in the depths of the Civil War, already had a divided country, and I'm not so sure with that far away from that, the way things have been going here. But, you know, it just would be the common sense and decency to wait until after the election. And setting a precedent now, they're going to say, well, you know, well, after that precedent's been broken, everybody will do anything. Could be the week before, 2 weeks. Makes no difference. There's got to be some decorum back here. There's got to be some civility. And we've got to bring this Senate back to what it was intended to be.
Now, you wrote an op-ed yesterday in a local West Virginia paper saying precedent demands the Senate wait on the confirmation vote, but Republicans have plowed ahead anyway. I want to play what your moderate colleague, Maine Independent Angus King, said on the Senate floor just last night.
I don't want to pack the court. I don't want to change the number. I don't want to have to do that. But if all of this rule breaking is taking place, what does the majority expect?
Now, when we had you on last month, Senator, you were resistant to the idea of expanding the court, but as you see, some moderates have joined progressives on this. Are you still opposed to the idea of changing or expanding the court in a new term? And what about ending the filibuster?
I am opposed, but let me explain to it this way, Lindsay, is that first of all, I'm encouraged by what Joe Biden, when he becomes the next president, what Joe Biden has said, he's going to put a commission together, a bipartisan commission of scholars, to find out how do we calm this down? How do we cool this place off? How do we make it work? How do we make sure that the justice is blind, Madam Justice is blindfolded, and she doesn't know who you or I may be or what our standings in life are? She basically is looking at the rule of law. And it shouldn't be a football back and forth. Whoever's in power gets the court or gets control of the judicial system. That is not democracy. It's not the rule of law. It's not who we are and how we've become the country that we are. So I'm very much concerned about that. I understand my dear friend Angus. I think the world of Angus King. He's a deep thinker. He's well in tune and he's well versed. But on this here, I think we need to fight and work for a bipartisan solution. We need to make sure that we don't continue to do it. We're having a 51 vote threshold today, Lindsay, because McConnell, Senator McConnell from the Republican side, the leader of the Republican Party in the Senate, basically changed the rules, the nuclear option in 2017, and did that with a simple majority. But in all fairness, in 2013, Harry Reid did it for the lowercase judges, a circuit and also some appointments from a president's cabinet. And they thought they had a stalemate, couldn't put a government together. So rather than sitting down trying to work out your differences, they just wanted to blow it up. They called it a nuclear option. So what, tit for tat? So if we say we're going to change the rules and add 2 or 3 or 4, the Republicans come back into power whenever, and it always cycles through. So you better be careful what you wish for, because you will get it. And it started in 2013, continued in 2017. Don't you think we ought to call a truce and see if we can sit down to get back to a more normal operating Senate, which is what our founding fathers intended us to be, the deliberate body that could work our differences out? I think Joe Biden, if anyone can make that happen, it'll be Joe Biden.
Certainly the gridlock was likely not what our founding fathers intended. As you well know, at this point, we are just 8 days away until the election. You may have a calendar somewhere with some big red X's through each day at this point. But you are one of the only Democrats to meet with Judge Coney Barrett. Do you get the sense that she will recuse herself from any election-related disputes?
I didn't get any. You know, she was, first of all, she's very, very bright, and she's very well versed. Had a very good meeting. And I enjoyed meeting with her, spent about an hour, and we talked about things. They prefaced the meeting by saying that she's not going to be able to talk about anything that might come before the court. Well, I'm thinking to myself, you know, that's the chance, the last chance for justice, the Supreme Court. Anything and everything may come before the court. So with that, she wasn't able to opine on different things that might come before that. So I'm concerned about the Affordable Care Act because my state of West Virginia depends on it. 800,000 West Virginians have pre-existing condition. 160,000 are getting health care for the first time. And it needs to be repaired. Lindsay, we know that. But I wish my colleagues, my Republican colleagues, rather than saying, we've got a beautiful, the president says, we got a beautiful plan. Let me see it, Mr. President. Let me see something. And if it's that good, why can't we just amend the current law and fix what we have?
So I want to change gears here for a moment and talk about COVID-19. The U.S. shattered single-day case records this week, and Majority Leader McConnell moved the Senate at lightning speed to confirm Judge Coney Barrett. But the House and Senate have failed to reach a deal yet on more stimulus to address the pandemic. Do you agree with Speaker Pelosi's approach on these negotiations with the White House?
Well, let me tell you, if you're dealing in both sides, the House, the Democrat House and the Republican Senate, the majority in the Senate is a Republican, for Mitch McConnell to put a piece of legislation out, which he called the HEALS Act. Nancy Pelosi and the Democrat Congress put out what they called the HEROES Act. It started at $3.2 trillion, as I recall, in that neighborhood, $3 trillion plus. And Mitch McConnell puts out one at $1.1 trillion. And you would think, okay, Nancy Pelosi says that the House will renegotiate and come down to about 2 or 2.2 trillion. And Mitch McConnell basically sends everybody home in August rather than sitting there and trying to negotiate. Can we work out our differences? And people are depending on us to get this worked out. He sends everybody home, and we come back after August and the 1st September, and the new bill that he votes on is cut in half to $500 billion. He went backwards. So rather than trying to deal in good faith, that was not good faith. That was strictly political, because his people are saying that, hey, if you want us to vote for something, cut it in half. Well, cutting it in half basically hurt an awful lot of people in my state, whether it be educators, whether it be healthcare providers, whether it be people in small businesses. There was a lot of need out there. And we never really had a chance. So he basically, I found out, that's the only thing that he could get the majority of his caucus to vote for. Well, Mitch might have to come to the understanding, and hopefully a lame duck real as quickly as we come back after this election, that he's going to pass a good piece of legislation that can be compromised and worked out with the White House and with the House and the Senate, with more Democrats voting for it than Republicans. And he'll have to come to grip with that. If not, we'll get nothing. And I'm hoping he understands that.
And a lot may change on Election Day, 8 days away. Senator Manchin, we thank you so much for your time. I appreciate it.
Well, then, thank you for having me. I appreciate it. Thank you.
Hi, everyone. George Stephanopoulos here. Thanks for checking out the ABC News YouTube channel. If you'd like to get more videos, show highlights, and watch live event coverage, click on the right over here to subscribe to our channel. And don't forget to download the ABC News app for breaking news alerts. Thanks for watching.